guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'll be showing you how to make this very chic satin bucket hat. I had a lot of fun making this one and I think it's pretty easy to do. I made it in satin so that it could also protect my hair as well as look really luxurious and high-end. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and let's get right into it. Alright, so what you're going to need is some satin fabric or some silk. If you could get some, that would be preferable. And then I've got some fusing here. And then here are my pattern pieces. So you technically need 4 pattern pieces, but I've got 3 here. So you've got your brim, you've got the top of your hat, and then you've got your side panel of your hat. And I'm going to be adding a piece of drawstring over my hat that I will make, and that will be going into these 2 entryways here, and that will be made out of the same fabric. And I've just gone ahead and traced out all of my pieces, and I'm going to interface the brim, both the lining piece and the outside piece, just so I get a nice stiff brim, and then the rest of them don't need interfacing. So I've interfaced all of these pieces. So I've got the brim of the hat, all 4 pieces are interfaced, and then I've got the top of the hat and the 2 sides of the hat. So I'm just going to sew down the side of all 4 of these pieces, but in these 2 base pieces I'm just going to keep these gaps open, and they're about 1 inch wide. But I'm going to sew it from the top to the red line, and then from the red line down to the bottom on these 2, and then those 2 I'm just going to sew down the sides of them. So that's my gap that I've left, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press it like this, and then I'm going to have a gap in both this piece without the interfacing and the piece with the interfacing. So I have pressed my seams and I've top stitched, and I just think that this little top stitch detail is going to look so beautiful in the end, because this part of the hat doesn't get any more stitching done to it. So I just thought it would be a nice additional detail. And then what I've also done is just added my label to the top of my hat, and I'm going to now attach the top of my hat and the base, the sides of my hat together. I'm just going to join them, matching my notches together like that, and I'm going to pin it all the way around and stitch that together. Alright, so these are the 2 sides of my hat, and I've just joined the top and the side together, and I've left an opening here so I can turn it inside out. I've just top stitched there so I have a guide of where to press it down nice and neat when I'm done. And then on this piece I have just sewn all the way around. As you can see, there's rippling all the way through that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip it about 0.2 away from the seam, and then I'm going to trim it back 0.5 mils for my seam allowance. I'm going to then turn it inside out, and I'm going to top stitch just like here, but on the inside of the garment. This is going to be the outside of my hat, and that is going to be the inside of my hat. That thump you just heard was my machine leg, sorry for that. Alright, so what I have done is grab my brim, and then I've grabbed the rest of my hat and I have pinned them matching the sides together, making sure that my seams, my side seams match, and this is the result of it. And I'm just going to sew all the way around it, and then like I did in the inside of the hat, I'm going to snip 0.2 away from the seam that I'm going to sew. Alright, so this is where we're at. I have joined my hats together, and I'm so happy because my seams meet beautifully on both pieces. So now what I'm going to do is join them together around the brim of the hat. So I'm just going to sew all the way around, but obviously I'm going to turn them inside out first. I've just joined my pieces together and I have pinned all the way around. So they're just sewn in together like that, and I'm just going to sew all the way around it. And then again, I'm going to just snip into it, and then I'm going to turn it inside out. Right, now to finish off the hat, I'm just going to sew all the way around the brim of the hat, just 0.5 stitches away from each other until I get right to the end. So technically our bucket hat is done. It looks really nice. I really like the glossy sheen of the fabric. Anyways, I've got to make the straps that will go through here, so I'm going to do that now. So this is the strap for the hat. It is 51 inches long and then 4 inches wide, and I've just folded it to come back into 2 inches, and then I'm going to fold it again, and I'm going to top stitch on both sides of it, so that will be 1 inch wide. So here's the final hat, and I have just put the drawstrings through the holes that I had left earlier, and the front of it's like that. And I made it this way so that you can have the option to have the drawstring or not. That is up to you. But yeah, there's the final hat.